Jai Sri Swaminarayan. So I'm going to give you like practical example of how to apply, or how dharma applies, and how to kind of think it through in your head. So let's say, for example, we've got two friends, and they both get married. One goes into a family which has like a super brilliant mother-in-law who's very supportive, helps around the house, kind of acts like a friend. The other friend that gets married, she has a kind of disruptive mother-in-law, kind of always taunting her, making life difficult for her. In that scenario, first of all, we've got to say, right, not to look at mother-in-law's kind of attitude towards us. We've got to say, what's our dharma? As a daughter-in-law, what's my duty towards my mother-in-law? And basically, you've then got to say in your head, right, my duty as a daughter-in-law is to look after her, and kind of carry on doing what you're doing, regardless of the things that she's doing. I know it's hard, but our Shastras say that Vivek and Shamta are two really good ways of kind of overcoming the karma. So if you started confronting her, defending things, making life difficult for her in the same way she does with you, then what you're doing is you're actually creating new karma for you. For her, it's kind of like, she is like that. You hear about swabhavs. So people are actually born naturally with certain swabhavs or personalities. So if you have kind of jnana of Shastras, then you would be able to go through this thought process in your head and say, actually, it's not me. That's the way she's been molded. And, kind of the Shastras say that I've got to kind of have perseverance, etc. Because if I start confronting her, I'm just creating new karma for me. And the whole goal of this human life is to kind of bring your karma bank down to zero. Or the best way that you can do that, when people talk about Sharanagati, surrender to Bhagwan, it's saying surrender your actions. So we'll come on to that on another video, but this here, basically what I'm trying to say is, the thought process in your head must be, I have a duty to my mother-in-law, I'm carrying that out, regardless of what she's like. I mean, don't get me wrong, you've got some really bad situations where, some mother-in-laws start being violent, and go to some extremes. In those scenarios, that's what the law's there for in every country. And you should take, not the matter into your own hands, but you should take the assistance of the law in that country to help you, or other organisations that can help you. So if you can imagine now, you're kind of in that scenario and you're persevering, then actually you're bringing your karma bank down. And if you also look at it from a karma point of view, the way Prarabdha, Sanchit karma, etc. works is that you must have done something similar in your past lives where you're now getting this treatment in this current life. So it's kind of like a bit of repayment for you, karmic debt. So you might not, it's not visible here. You think, I'm not doing anything to her. What have I done to her? I'm just being as nice as pie. And, she's kind of giving me this stress and stuff. But you don't understand that your soul is carrying these baps that you've done in the past that you now have to suffer in one way or another. So if you don't retaliate, if you don't kind of, rise to it, then you're actually doing really good for yourself. Yeah, you're actually helping yourself. All you've always got to think about is what your duty is towards others, not whether they're carrying out their duty towards you. Because most of the time what we're doing is we're looking at people and we're saying, why is she not doing that towards me? Why is she like that towards me? Whereas what you've got to always have in mind is Maru Kartavya Suche, as in Maru Dharma Suche, what is my duty to this person? So a mother-in-law, whatever the Shastras say in terms of looking after her, doing whatever, then that's the way that you need to kind of make all your actions towards her, if that makes sense. So I hope that explains kind of in a practical way what the thought process should be in your head when you're kind of confronted with these situations. And that's why we have dharma, that's why we have jnana. So if you kind of know these things, then you can deal with these things in a good way, and there's a thought process in your head which mentally kind of helps you to deal with situations. I hope that helped.